Yeah, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know, that's the message for today. You know, you got a lot of people that say that, you know, they in search of the truth. But in the searching for the truth, you're gonna have to filter and sort out, you know, and climb through a lot of lies. Because in most cases, the current world that we living in, the truth is hardly what you see on the surface. But it's not to say that there are circumstances and situations and people of real integrity who are really authentic and really in it, you know, really about this life, that are, you know what I'm saying, 100%, you know, through and through. But even in that, you know, you ever find yourself behind enemy lines, however which way, you know, that's determined. Those are the real truth seekers. Fully grasp the fact that not even the truth in itself, in its authenticity, can be visible all the time. Because that comes with the strategies of war. You know, we playing chess, not checkers. So the truth, as real as it is, never really requires us to be foolish. You see, you can take that with a grain of salt and do what you want to do with it. But just put your mindset in the movie The Matrix. You had all these people that were functioning and in their minds living their lives, right? It's supposed to be science fiction, but the best fiction is based on facts. That's what makes it so real, you know, or appear to be real, because you getting a real representation or some allegory that is pointing out, you know, in a lot of cases what's really going on. So I say all that to say, the truth comes with responsibility. But it's not just about obtaining a whole lot of knowledge just to be able to say, oh, well, you know, I know that, or you know this or that. Because knowledge is just the first step. You can know something in your mind but not know how to apply it. It's just in your mind. But if you can't take the information and you can't use it to bring about real solutions, to problem solve, wherein you can actually change things for the better or fix problems, which is the same thing, you know, because every problem needs a solution, you know, but that requires not just the information about the fact that it exists or how to do it, because you can read, see, hear how to do something, but until you actually get to the doing part, that's what's going to really open up the door for you to master the information that you now know. That's the only way that information can actually help you to manifest what you want to manifest. It's not just going to be a manifestation just because you want things manifest. Oh no, you still gonna have to put in some work. Still gonna have to, you know, get out, get it, and do what you gotta do in order to put yourself in a position in order to be able to receive or to reap whatever it is that you sowed. So there's a lot going on right now. You know, in the last 20 years, hopefully you've been doing your homework. You've been studying. You know, you've been working out. You know, you've been taking care of your body, taking care of your mind. You know, filtering out relationships, identifying with what's really in line, in tune with your purpose, who you are, and what you want to create. You know, There's different seasons of life. You know, spring bring forth new life. We was all born. You know, we had a gestation period. You know, we incubated. There was a period of eyes open but still couldn't see, ears open but still couldn't hear. Process of development. Then it got to a point where we became conscious and aware of our own existence, and we began to absorb. We began to duplicate, replicate different sounds. You know, vibrations, names, faces, colors. And we began to identify with this new world that we was in. Then it came a time wherein we began to gain more control over how to manipulate the things around us in a good way in order for us to get the results that we want, that we needed, and that we desired as children. Then we became adolescents. Hey? You know? And we began to mature. Eventually we became full-grown adults. You know? Spring, summer. And then after you live your life, and you know, if you survived and preserved and took care of yourself, you know, we enter into our autumn. Some call it fall. You know, where things start to change. You go through different changes and colors and hormones and, you know, maturity, outlooks, perceptions, perspectives, you know, begin to mature. Preparing us for what? For the next cycle, which is, you know, a lot of people call death, you know. But what am I saying? These principles, in my opinion, and from my perspective, can be applied to all things, even in the process of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When you first come into contact with something new, that's just like you a baby again, because you don't know about it. You need repetition. You got to see it a lot. You got to hear it a lot. You got to practice. You got to become embedded in the information, you know, so that you can become more grounded and rooted in what it is that you have just encountered or been encountered by. Then you got to go through a process of development, of trying it out, applying it, seeing how it works for you. You know, how much you can put into it. Do you need to add more, take a little bit out, or multiply, or whatever it is? Then you get to a point where a period of mastery, where your confidence is like, well, I got this. You know, now you can use the information in order to calculate and to predict, you know, and to project, you know, when it comes down to what you want outcomes to be according to your desires. To me, that is when you stepped into a period of mastery. You see? But if you run from the process, it's just like a lot of people are like, oh, you know, you healthy. You know, you blessed to be this, that, right? Yeah, but I'm blessed with the ability to make a choice. It's not that, you know, I don't got to still get out here. I don't got to still do supplements. I don't still got to eat right. It's not like I could just let myself go and then I'm just going to be blessed with the ability to continue to perform. The real true blessing is the will to make a decision, to continue the continuity of life, the consistency, the persistence, you know, the commitment. That right there is the formula for the blessing, in my opinion. Because we have the power of choice. Are you using your choices in order to create what you really want to create? Are you really happy with who you are right now? Or who you see yourself becoming? Because we're always in a process of becoming something. It don't necessarily got to be a positive or negative, but it's going to translate inside of each of our lives according to whatever work we are putting in. You see? So back to the matrix. if you're really on a path of seeking truth, don't expect a crowd. Don't expect that, you're going to have a multitude of people, just like in the Matrix. Once they got unplugged, once they took the pill of truth or whatever the symbolism, what they thought was real, what they had accepted as being real, they found out that it was all lies, manipulation, and deception, and that they was all being used for their energy. They were all being energy harvested. Are you being energy harvested? Is your energy, your life force, your willpower, your determination, your consistency, your self-defining purpose, your self-determination, are all of these aspects that make you you? And even those that have gone unmentioned, are they really being directed and poured into what you truly desire? Or are you just getting the residue or the residual effects or the crumbs off of your efforts? It's just something to ask yourself. Whether it's 40, 50, 60 hours, who's getting most of your time, your attention, your energy? And on the other end, what is it realistically producing? Is it taking you higher, or are you being energy harvested? Once they came into the truth, they were isolated. They had to go through a period of detoxification. Everything that they knew, or that they thought they knew, had to be reworked. They had to learn how to master their tools. It's like they had to be reborn again into the real reality, so that they could be effective in representing the truth the right way. And the first thing that they had to learn and accept was that everything that they saw, tasted, and heard, all 5 of their senses, was being constantly manipulated by the program that they called the Matrix in the movie. They came to know their real true sisters and brothers who they met and had never met before. It wasn't their family members, their co-workers, their spouses, or none of that. It wasn't their politicians. It was just the people that was on that spaceship. It was the people who had gone through the same process. It was the people who had made the same choices. It was the people who went through and did the same self-work. It was the people who had accepted the truth for what it really was and really is, that was on the same team. Everything else, whether consciously or unconsciously, was designed and programmed like an algorithm to identify with anyone that was not conducive with the program, with the language, with the behavior, with the belief systems. And it was all designed to immediately lay an attack to neutralize what was perceived to be a threat to their very whole existence, to their world, which they call the Matrix, or the program, or the binary code, or whatever. So, you see I'm out here in this 37 degree weather, but I feel like I'm 90 degrees on the inside. Why? Because regardless of the conditions, I'm gonna rep me. You see, nobody can stop you when you have made a 100 to 1,000% commitment to yourself to be your best self. You can't make up an excuse of something that exists outside of you that's causing you so much problems, so much grief, so much resistance, oh, so much oppression. You can't use that as an excuse, because when you use those things as an excuse, you automatically are saying that the power is not within you to overcome those things, to resist those things, or to make choices to bypass those things. You're basically saying through your excuses that those things are greater than you. You see, nothing is greater than my will to keep moving until I get to the point where I can't move no more. You see what I'm saying? Whether it's trauma, injury, a physical trauma, injury, or death. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm only going to transcend again. You know, because you can't destroy energy. But that's my belief. But back to you. You can't use no excuse outside of you. Peace, brother. Alright? You can't use no excuse outside of you making a choice for your conditions. And then turn around and say that you educated, to say that you believe in God, or you know that you the original man, original woman, you know, you this, you that. You all powerful. But you allowing the smallest things to paralyze you in fear, in anxiety, frustration. All of these things are nothing but recipes for self-defeat. But then you say that greater is he or thee. You already know your language. I speak all kinds of languages with the same language. But what does it mean? What does it mean, people? You don't have that much more time to keep procrastinating, waiting, doing all your research. Oh no. You had the last 30 years or better. Ever since the 70s. The 70s, they played you. 80s, you got played. 90s. All of the 2000s up to now. We had scholars, orators, leaders, workers, servants of the people, and you still kept playing. Now you worried about AI. Now you worried about robots. Now you worried about automation. Now you worried about what's going to happen to your job. What's going to happen to your children? What's going to happen to your grandchildren? Just like how they scrapped the cotton mill, just like how they scrapped the cotton pickers for the cotton mill and the cotton mill for the tractor. See, you say you want the truth and that you know the truth, but as I listen to the people, as I listen to the multitudes of the people, I mostly hear fear. And if you really know the truth, that automatically dispels all of that fear that's inside of you, because fear just means that you don't know. You either don't know what you're supposed to know, or you know what you're supposed to know and you don't know what to do with it, or you know what you're supposed to know and you know what to do with it, but you're just afraid to do what you need to do with it. Either way, like I said, what's the point of knowing if you're not doing? I could say talk about health all day, tell you about how 80% of black women suffer from fibroids. I could tell you about all of the unnecessary hysterectomies that they're implementing against the people. I could tell you about all of the botched knee, the unnecessary knee replacements that they doing. I could continue to tell you not to get on dialysis. Pay attention to your kidneys. I could keep telling you that heart disease is the #1 killer in America, possibly the world. And the numbers is growing every year. 600,000 dead every year from heart disease in America alone. 700,000 is the projection for 2026. Look up the Civil War. Ask AI how many people died in the Civil War. It was every bit of 600 to 700,000 people. So what that tell you? That was just one event. But every last single year, 600 to 700,000 people are dying from heart disease. You calculate how many casualties that is in a 10-year span. So if you think that this is by way of accident, you know, you got people that's building nanoparticles, nanobots, AI, artificial intelligence, robotics, and you mean to tell me that it's beyond the intelligence of the nation to be able to provide a curriculum to the teachers inside of the school systems all across the nation to teach the children and to provide the children with the tax dollars that you're paying in order to serve and educate the people on the most fundamental rubric level about daily good nutrition, exercise. From what I hear now, the children don't even hardly got physical PT in the schools now. Look outside. The children don't play outside no more like how we used to. They not throwing the football no more. You know why? Because they on these damn computers. So what does that mean? By 2030, it is projected that 49 to 51% of Americans, now mind you, there's over 300 million people in America. So you do the math. You do 49 to 51% of over 300 million people that are scheduled and projected to be overweight and classified as being obese. What am I saying? Where are they leading you to, people? When are you going to take back your mind, take back your will, take back your force, take back your might, and start using the real truth to do the deduction and ask yourself, are you in control of your own mind and your own choices every day? Are you doing what you got to do to lengthen your lifespan? Are you putting the right things inside of your body every day? Do you have a physical regimen that you're committed to? Because I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of y'all are used to seeing war on TV. You see? But let me ask you a question. That's hypothetical. What if the things that you see on TV all the time that is at a safe distance from you? What happens if one day, you know, you seeing drone formations, robotic dogs, robot soldiers, drones, robot soldiers, and robot dogs, hyper surveillance. You know, what happens when the war comes to your doorstep? When it's in your front yard and in your backyard? Will you be on a pacemaker? Will you still be dependent on insulin to get through the day? Can you cover 1 mile to 3 miles on foot within inside of a reasonable amount of time? If you live in a rural area, 20 to 30 minutes out of the city, and you cut off from the supermarkets, you cut off from your natural resources, and you don't grow food, and your water get turned off, What happens when the worst happens? Will you be prepared? Will you be the weakest link in the chain within your immediate surroundings of your community? Or will you be one that the next brother can lock arms with and hold the line? Just questions. But yo, I wanted to put something else on y'all brain today because a lot of y'all are slacking. You making excuses. You not putting in the work. And you doing a lot of talking on social media. How you doing? And when it comes down to it, social media in itself is not gonna save you. The only thing that can save you is your undying commitment to yourself. You could lie to everybody else, but you know how you feel inside yourself. If you low energy, if you can't move, if you making excuses, you don't feel right, then you already half dead. Heard what I said? Life is growth. Life is slow. Life is energy. Yeah? Life is purpose. And most of all, life is truth. So if you lying to yourself, I'm about to get back in traffic. I don't want to be competing with these cars. But if you really about truth, then you about life. And if you about life, you about truth. And the world is changing. And whether or not if you like it or not, you can't stop it. You damn sure can't stop it by yourself. So the one true thing that you will always have power control over, no matter what the conditions, is your power of choice. When it comes down to how are you going to respond, not just react, but respond, project, and prepare. So that way you won't have to continue to live a life always reacting to what's happening. You can see the signs, you can see the weather, you can see the politics, you can see the change in the game. Just like any game. And you read the play, and you're supposed to know what's coming, and you're supposed to create plays or run plays that are designed to make sure that you don't lose the ball and that you don't lose your crown. It's your brother. If you want to place an order, the link is always in the comment. Get your health right. And look at your relationships and make sure that everybody that's close to you, next to you, got access to you, are part of your solutions, because your solutions have already been identified by them as also being their solutions. That's where it's going to start when it comes down to bringing about the change that you always complaining about. But if you're not ready to put in the work, then nothing that you saying means absolutely nothing. It's your brother, and I'm out of here.